Hello and welcome back to our coverage on TFTV of Beta TF2 LAN 2014 powered by Zowie Gear. And we are bringing you another fixture from Mike+5, this time as they go through the upper bracket into round 2 on Badlands and Snakewater. They are going to be facing Tavo tëvas, which we saw all the way back in the beginning of the morning. If you guys are still watching from back then congratulations, you've seen Tavo tëvas progress through a round. That's the sum total of your viewing today. So thanks for sticking with us. We have changed up the casters a little bit. Joining me on the microphone is going to be Gecks, all the way from America. He's going to be casting these Lithuanian games. Thank you very much for joining us, Gecks.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. It's my first time getting to really do some good European TF2 LAN action. Just woke up over here. It's pretty early in the States still, but it's good to be here. Glad to be here.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that it's very early for you guys. Dashner as well has been on the camera and remains on the camera. He woke up incredibly early to bring you guys all of the action from or through his eyes. So thank you very much to Dashner for powering the camera. We are just waiting for these guys to trickle onto the servers, but I think it's a good idea for us to run through some rosters while we wait around. It's going to be Mike+5, who you saw in the previous cast, if I'm not mistaken, with Ryushi and TurboTabs. They're going to be facing Tavo tëvas, who we saw they knocked out Truls Gaming, or knocked them down into the lower bracket, sorry. And Truls Gaming in the lower bracket currently playing against Garez, and we'll bring you updates on the scoreline of that as it happens, because that's currently going on at the same time. But back to the current game in hand, we're going to run through the rosters, and we'll start with the team that's going to be challenging the first seeded team. So we're going to start with Tavo tëvas. We've seen them early in the competition, but I appreciate that was a long time ago. We need our minds refreshing, Gecks. So we're going to be bopping through this. I don't think you will particularly know any of these players, right? They're all just random Lithuanians.
Yeah, they're a bit new to me. I'm more familiar with a few of the players over on Mike+5, but over on Tavo tëvas we have Fear, DL, Kofki, Luxy. See, this is I'm probably not even the guy that should be doing this. You're much more familiar, but there's also Luxy, Frenzy, and Clarks over there. A lot of these guys I don't think I've ever heard of. As you said to me, they're just about random Lithuanians. But regardless, looking forward to see them take on Mike+5.
Yeah, they come up with a little bit of a surprise in their fixture against Truls Gaming. We were expecting Truls Gaming to take that one, but they completely shocked us. Their Kritzkrieg plays, whilst prolific, didn't really amount to much, but they were the better team overall, and they got a bit more synergy, possibly by virtue of just all being the same team, speaking the same language. So yeah, the players on this team might be unfamiliar to a lot of our viewers as well, because they're not at the top of the scene. They're all hanging around this kind of Div 3 level, maybe even a little lower than that, but they're pulling together, really working on their team coordination, and they're beating teams that are made of individual talent that's far superior to their own. And one player to watch out for, Gecks, is if you do not keep an eye on him, that sneaky little medic from England is going to be running Kritzkrieg full time. The kid is outrageous, and if you ever go to an I-Series, he is an incredible personality as well. So keep your eye out for that Kritzkrieg action. He is definitely going to be running that.
Yeah, it's interesting that they decide to run it full time. They haven't really been on Uber at all. It's just full Kritzkrieg. Is that?
It's been on the 5CP map, it was about 50-50. I think it was 12 Ubers to 8 Kritzkriegs. And then on Viaduct, I think it was something like 9 Kritzkriegs and 4 Ubers. So they were really flopping the other way, which is, yeah, as you say, pretty unusual. Most teams will not run that at all. They'll only run the crits as an occasional, more of a surprise tactic than anything else. But it could well benefit them here, because they're facing a team that is probably on paper far superior to them, so we'll see whether they can pull anything out of the bag for this fixture. They're going to be facing Mike+5, which is the I don't want to call them a super team, because they're just a mixed team that's been made up of some decent talent from all across Europe, and as you say, some more familiar names in there, like Mike and Admirable. Something to hold on to, Gecks.
Yeah, definitely. Some guys I'm much more familiar with, of course, Mike and Admirable, but we'll see. We'll see how Tavez can face off against him. I think it's going to be pretty tough, at least for the names that I've seen there on Mike+5. But it'll be interesting to see if they pull out that aggressive crits play, keeping the pressure on him with that and stuff like that. So I guess we'll see as we get in here. It looks like we're just waiting for one more in our STV and we can get the action started. But it's going to be fun. I'm glad to be casting some European games. I don't get to do this ever, so it'll be good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, anytime, Gecks, anytime you can come and cast some EU TF2. We have got an absolute amazing amount of casters for you today, so we're going to be for you. I mean, you as in the viewers, not you as in Gecks. you can't take all our casters.
Yeah.
So we have an absolute plethora of people. We've got King of Squirrels and Stark coming in later on, alongside Twiggy and possibly Kratos as well. So tons of names, all going to be hitting the microphone on Team Fortress TV for your viewing pleasure. We are currently waiting for Fear, the medic from... oh goodness me, I've forgotten the team name. Tavo tëvas. I always forget their team name. But yeah, we are just waiting for him. I'm not sure exactly what the delay is. He just messaged me and he says he's moving his configs over. I think they're all using their own PCs, Gecks. No, sorry, they're all using someone else's PCs because it's a turn up and play event. So you just rock up from wherever you are, arrive in Lithuania, and they provide the PCs. It makes for a much smoother gaming experience, but it does mean that you have to bring all your own configs and accessories with you.
Yeah, that definitely makes it a lot easier. I know I know over at GXL and stuff, which I was just casting a couple weeks ago, everybody kind of had to bring their own things and stuff. It made the transition easier when you got there, but every LAN event has its own set of problems that occur and different things like that. So it's to be expected. But it looks like he's in here now, so hopefully we should be getting started here in just a second and get this awesome action here on Badlands underway in just a minute here.
Yeah, I think we'll be starting in less than 2 minutes. I think Fur has given everybody the green light. He's just moving his stuff over very slowly here. He is actually running the Kritzkrieg already in pregame. He's psyching them out. Mike and Admirable don't know what to think. Admirable, of course, another caster that you might have seen on TFTV. We'll get him in later on, possibly Mike as well from the shop floor, get their impression of Beta LAN, see how it compares to Info Show as well, which was the LAN that happened in Lithuania this April that Mike also attended and won. So he'll be hoping to keep up the legend of Mike and secure another LAN victory. But if anybody's going to throw, it's going to be this little potato-headed buffoon on medic over here, this Admirable. So he's going to try his hardest to drop all the Ubers. I haven't actually seen an Admirable drop yet, which is phenomenal, Gecks. You could normally take that to the bank, the fact that you would have at least 4 a game.
4 a game. That's that's funny though. Hey, at least he hasn't dropped yet. We'll see if we see the big drops here in this game, but it's good he hasn't so far. So
he hasn't had to come up against a team running full Kritzkrieg yet though, and if there's a potential for him to be dropping, it's going to be this game surely. He's going to be facing some Kritzkriegs all over the place. We're going to be going Badlands then Snake Order, and I don't think anything is going to stop Fear running his Kritzkriegs, tagging them onto DL stickies and attempting to blow people up. But the team synergy definitely in favor of Mike+5, even though they are a mixed team, the individual talent just shines out a little bit too strongly. Gecks, what do you reckon as to a scoreline for this map? I'm putting you on the spot here because you don't know the team so well, but fire one out at me.
I'm thinking I'm gonna say 5-1. I'm gonna give Tavo tëvas here a benefit of the doubt. Give him a round or so, but as you said, I think the skill, at least of what I'm familiar with from Mike+5, is just going to come out, as you said, a little bit too strong for them to really be able to get too many rounds here on Badlands. Snakewater, maybe a different story, who knows, but as far as Badlands, I'm thinking 5-1.
Yeah, I think that's a fair scoreline. Of course, Mike+5 smashed their way through their first round where they were playing it against Garaz, but this team should be a little stiffer competition than Garaz, who unfortunately rocked up to LAN with only 5 players after their demo man dodged. So that is the
Oh.
reason for all of the delays. We apologize again for any delays that we've had on stream. I know at one point we were delayed for quite a while, but it should be smooth running from now on, because Garaz in the lower bracket currently facing Truls. You would imagine that that Garaz would be knocked out there, but as far as I know, they were putting up a pretty good game against Truls Gaming. I think the score was 2-1 to Garaz the last time I checked. We'll have to get an update on the scoreline. It is a best of one, so whoever loses that does get knocked out. So we'll keep updates flying at you thick and fast.
It's always good to see, too, you know, a team that, you know, maybe necessarily isn't expected to do as well, kind of the underdog or whatever, having a big result, especially on a LAN environment. It's always a really cool thing to see. So, you know, it's good for them. I mean, you know, I'm not as familiar with the players and, you know, how they should be performing, I guess, against some of the other teams. But, you know, the way you guys have been speaking about it seems like it's pretty big for them to be ahead right now. So, you know, that's always good to see.
Yeah, it really is. There are some roster rundowns on TFTV for people to check out if you want to have a look at the rosters and see on paper how they should be performing against each other. But my synopsis of Garaz was basically they don't have a demo man, which is pretty unfortunate, and some of their players don't even have competitive TF2 experience. So unfortunately, so for them to be going up was an incredible achievement. Ari has just informed me that Truls Gaming is 5-2 down at the moment to Garaz. Garaz absolutely running away with the scoreline right now. So this could be the end of the line for Truls Gaming. This is a huge upset if Garaz make it through. And have we got a bug on the server?
Oh, I don't know. Something shaky about it. Hopefully it gets sorted, whatever it is. I guess we'll have to see here shortly what the deal is with that. But of course, in good fashion, a lot of times with these LAN events and things, there are some issues that arise, but we'll always get through them. We'll get through it and move through here. Not sure what the deal is here. I don't know if we're gonna have to move servers. It looks like it's frozen or something, but
yeah. Oh, they went live, so who knows what's happening. They have gone live, but the server is frozen. So maybe that's just a bug, as the STV is coming to terms with the fact that the game is actually live and running in tournament mode rather than just warm-up. We will keep on top of it, and I'll be liaisoning with the players and with dashner to see what's happening with the server. Hopefully we get everything back smooth and running and we haven't missed anything, although we may have missed the first mid-fight by the time this sorts itself out, or maybe it'll just all magically turn around and be nice. Yes,
hey,
it did.
There it goes.
It did it, Gecks. It's fine.
Yes, that's great. You know, it could have been much worse, so that's good. So hopefully this game gets started here in just a second. Looks like people in the STV here saying good luck, have fun. I think we're gonna get going here in just a second.
Yeah, of course, these STVs 90 seconds delayed just so that nobody can be cheating and telling people what's going on. So the game has gone live. If you are just joining us, this is the beta TF2 coverage for 2014 powered by Zowie Gear. You're joining us in round 2 on Badlands, the next map Snakewater, as we watch Mike+5 play against Tavo Tëvas. And first mid, Gecks, who are you watching?
I'm taking a look at Mike right now as he comes in. He's getting in. Let's see, both teams still not really in. Both the soldiers getting aggressive in towards Jokdo. Croce over in there. He's getting some rockets out. He's gonna take down DL, and it looks like right now it's just one down for Tavo Tëvas, one down for Mike, but the soldier Evoke getting in on them. He does get some rockets in on the Clarks, and they're gonna take down a couple more people. They pick up the midpoint right there, and they're gonna be moving into second. Looks like Tavo Tëvas has worked their way back.
Yeah, they managed to do fairly well there, but Kufki kept them in it. Kufki managed to keep Tavo Tëvas in the game by rocket jumping all the way into the enemy house and picking up Admirable right at the beginning of that. So both of the medics did go down. That's going to equalize the Uber situation, not give Mike+5 too much of an advantage as they just hold this Spire. But it actually looks like the Lithuanian team here wants to get a little bit aggressive. They are poking some players into upper lobby. They've got their Roma having a look as well. So they'll have to be careful that they don't overextend as they just defend this last point.
Yeah, as you said, that he was up there, but it looks like they've worked their way back to last right now. So now Mike+5 peeking in a little bit. They've got their standard hold inside of the lobby right now. Both teams just waiting to get these Ubers. Looks like they're going to be just about even for just slightly ahead on that, but nothing to worry about them, as Admirable's just about to come up on his as well. So I think we're going to see this last push here shortly once somebody gets the pick for Mike+5. Actually, no, I think they're just going to go straight in for it, as they're going to go in. They were at a health disadvantage too, but they do pop in, both teams popping that Uber, and Mike+5 worked back as they did lose a couple players, so they're going to have to start to work their way out, though. Croce coming back into the point, trying to get some damage out, but Clarks is going to clean up on him, so now Mike+5 heading their way back out to second point to hold it.
That was a nice non-committal push actually by Mike+5. They've got enough players up to be able to hold this, and Rock and Mike combining together. A sticky trap from Mike actually, I think, to take down Luxy as he pushed out now. And Nookie completely destroys Fear as he was left completely alone. His demo man too far behind him dealing with a scout, but he does manage to pick up Rock. So not everything has gone badly hit for Tavo tëvas, but they are going to be defended now without any heals. The Uber for Admirable on 75%, and a fight happening all over the place here. Croce desperately trying to get in on the top. He does manage to punch a hole through the Lithuanian defense and takes down their scout, but he's so isolated on his own. This is a very messy push here from Mike+5. They just needed to wait for their Uber charge.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were doing. A couple players got in and bled. I mean, they're both down. Each team is down 2 players right now, so they could still potentially get in. Tavo tëvas did get spawns, but the Uber was forced inside a lobby, but they've managed to pick up 2 frags in the process, so they still have Mike down in there trying to get some damage out on them. He's having a fight with Luxy down in lower lobby there, and he was actually able to get the pipe onto him and finish him off. So looks like they're gonna have 3 players down right now. They're gonna have to start moving in before these spawns come through. It looks like they're trying to get in, as though Fear is about to have that full Uber in just a second though, so they have to be careful. And a couple more frags are gonna come in. Each team still down 2 right now, but Fear does have that full Uber, so they do need to be careful, as I said. As they're still sitting in last at the moment. Fear did take a good bit of damage, but and that's actually Evoca's gonna go down there. So, oh no, they do get on the cap. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see him come into last. That was Nookie. I guess he came in from lower left there, down on the side, but that's gonna be the first round there over to Mike+5.
Yeah, they were already in a bad situation because Fear had been forced by some spam on Mike. Mike not really being dealt with very effectively at all by Tavo tëvas there. And then Nookie slipping in is just going to secure the round. So 1-0, we're off to our second middle. And it looks like a Valley rollout coming out here from Evoke and Croce. Admirable walking up the Valley as well. The first frag is going to go down as Nookie trades for Kufki. And he's put a lot of damage onto the demo man as well from DL. And they've completely forced Tavo tëvas out of the point. So they have a potential momentum now to storm forward, as Tavo tëvas' defense on Spire nowhere to be seen.
And Fear was able to survive there, which is good, and Admirable is up as well, so we're going to see some even Ubers, but Kufki got absolutely denied at the beginning of that mid as he tried getting on top, and then as they lost a scout over in flank, and that put them at a disadvantage, but they are in on second now. Mike+5 is, and they are going to get the point. Frenzy tried getting in, Kufki did as well, and they're both going to go down, so now it's 2 down. If they can get in and take this 2-player advantage quickly, they should be able to get this last point here. They're starting to come through. A spawn's about to come in. They are going to pop in through main, as the counter pop has come in from Tavo tëvas as well. So now we see 1 player from each squad going down as well. DL went down for Tavo tëvas. They're still hanging out in lobby over there. A bit of a fight over on the right side. Clarks was able to pick up 1, and as well as, who was that? Luxy was able to get 1 as well. So it's a couple down from each side, but it looks like Mike+5 just working their way out right now.
Yeah, that was a really important pick just at the end there by Luxy. He hit some beautiful directs from the low ground to deny Mike. If Mike had been allowed to get in there and they didn't have DL to deny any area or put stickies on the point, I fear that that would have been a game over, night for the round for Tavo tëvas. They would have been capped off fairly quickly by Mike putting a lot of pressure from up top. But they did manage to secure the frag on Mike, who at the moment seems to be the key player in a lot of these pushes along with Nookie. They just really need to put more focus on him. I'm watching a sticky trap at the moment in main. Admirable's about underneath it. It does manage to pick up the pocket and the demo man. Great sticky trap there from DL. I don't even know where he was watching it from. He was watching it from the tiny little crack that he could see from on stairs. So a brilliant pick by him. That's going to force a bit of aggression from Croce, and he does manage to pop the Uber out of Fear. So a great play from the roaming soldier of Mike+5. And the counter was come out of Admirable as they try and block the Spire because Rock has called that he's on a back cap. And that's the second round in a row that's been stolen away from them by a sneaky scout.
Yeah, it's always tough pushing out of last on this map because there's a lot of ways for people to get in and go ahead for a back cap, and that's what happened right there. Tavo tëvas got out, but it's just really hard to cover everything, and it's something you always got to be careful of, the back caps on this map. But here we go into this mid as we see both teams just kind of hanging out on their side right now. They do have Croce over on this right side here. He's over aggressive on their end. They're going to go ahead and pick up one. They're just bullying him out of mid right now. They only got one frag on the Frenzy there, but they just got completely out-aggressed. Tavo tëvas were left on their side and just could not get into the mid at all. Not much action at all on that mid, but that is going to be the midpoint over to Mike+5. But Kufki actually was able to get in and take down Rocky, but right now we're just going to see both teams kind of hanging out right now, just waiting to get these pushes going, just about up on full Ubers as well on both sides.
Yeah, Croce and Nuki actually hanging around the house area. They're seeing if they can get a pick, but Kufki's caught him out completely. Bad positioning by Croce there. He got flanked from Haunter and gets decimated on the diagonal there. And that's going to prompt the push in from Luxy and DL as they take this Uber forwards. Luxy actually taking a lot of damage, but this is a bad situation to commit in from the Lithuanian team. They're going to lose so many players as Mike actually goes down to some nice rockets by Kufki. That could have completely changed the tide of the battle if DL's able to reload his stickies and put a lot of damage out right now. But it seems that Rock and Nuki just too strong, absolutely picking up a brace of frags there for Mike+5 and turning the tide of the battle again towards them.
Yeah, they really kept him in that fight there, because initially with Mike going down, it didn't necessarily look the best for them at the time, but the scouts of Mike+5, they're really getting in and doing some work, and they already have Croce in here into upper lobby, but they are going to pick up the second point here. Looks like they're going to be able to move into lobby nice and easy here shortly as they slowly work their way in, but both teams are going to be up on this Uber here in just a second, and we're going to see this last push here coming very shortly.
Yeah, I have noticed that actually Fear and the rest of Team Tavo tëvas have had small Uber advantages, and by that I mean 20 to even 30%, and not used them, and they've just waited for the aggression to come out of Mike+5, and that could really cost them. The Uber has come out at the moment. It's finally popped from Luxy and Fear as they use their Uber charge, but the flanking players from Mike+5 are raining havoc upon the flank. Oh, Kufki getting a lovely little double kill there. Could have completely changed things. They need the positioning now though, as Evoke gets onto the point. Evoke and Admirable have much better positioning, and if Mike can come and help them, Mike gets denied in upper lobby. Kufki with a triple kill on that defense, really helping keep his team in it.
Yeah, there wasn't too much he could do there. They tried getting back in and get some frags onto the point. Kind of a desperation play there at the end, but very good hold there from Tavo tëvas. So sitting at a 2-0 scoreline right now. Mike+5 in the lead, but here they have come out of second. They did get that second point, so no worries of a back cap this time, as right now they actually both the rounds I believe so far for Mike+5 been back caps. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, no, they have. And they're actually running Nuki on Sniper as well, so that's going to hurt them if they're trying to attack Spire, because scouts are so important on getting that cap time and denial in the high ground. But similarly, it's going to help them a lot if the Lithuanian team are the ones to aggress, and it looks like they are going to be the ones who are posturing around that house area. They're going to meet a sticky trap from Mike, but I think they've seen it early enough. Now they just have to dodge a headshot from Nuki.
And they do pop this Uber right out of house here. The counter pop coming in from Admirables. He almost went down, almost with the big Admiral drop there, but he did keep it. And Evoke was able to take down Luxy, and Kufki going down as well. So 2 picks right now for Mike+5. There's another scout in the flank that's just about to go down. Evoke's going to finish him off. That was Clark's down there. So 3 down right now. They did not get the better end of that fight there that time, Tavo tëvas. And Mike's already in on second. He's taking a bit of damage, though. Almost going down. Oh, my goodness. He has 1 health. Oh, he almost fell to his death, but somehow survived. So
I was so sure that he was going to die there, because he fell off Spire onto balcony and then fell off balcony. What a klutz. But he does manage to retain his life. He doesn't fall quite the distance required to start the fall damage.
Yeah, so lucky for him surviving there. Admirable's gonna have a bit of an Uber advantage here, about 20%. I don't know if it's going to be enough for them to decide to go in off of it, but we'll see. They do have Nookie up on Sniper still, so I think they're going to go ahead and try and work a pick around him. He's sitting in main right now, seeing what he can get. Sitting in lower main, just checking things out. Looks like they've already come in there. They actually popped the Ubers on both sides. I was too busy watching the Sniper to worry about that, but two have gone down for Mike+5 right now. Not the best situation for them, as I don't think they're going to be able to do too much in here. Kirchi was still looking down in lower right there, but I don't think he's going to aggress it any further. Mike's setting up some stick traps there in upper lobby, but not too much action there as Mike+5 has gotten themselves out now.
Yeah, they look like they just want to hold outside with the Sniper sitting all the way back at choke. They're just waiting for a pick. They're just baiting Tavo tëvas into pushing here. But if they do, Mike might find himself in a bad position. He's really far forward compared to the rest of his team. I don't know whether he realizes that he's not very well supported, or whether he's just really confident in his own DM. Of course, he is an absolute DM god. He is going to be putting out tons of damage on Demoman. He's, of course, famed for his soldier prowess, but his Demoman DM is really no worse than his soldier. So an absolute phenomenal player, but still a little bit of aggressive positioning. Kufki actually going in for the bomb onto Admirable there, only takes off about 50 health, and now they're just getting a little bit bored here. Mike+5, they're moving into lobby. They're sick of their failed bait strategy.
And they're going to send the soldier in. I think that was Kufki there that got in, and he got the force out of them. Actually, Kirchi got in and got the force there, so it looks like Admirable's going to have that full Uber, which he does now pop off as he gives it to Mike, and they're going to go ahead and move into the point here. It's 2 down, 3 down right now for Tavo tëvas. Not looking good for them. They do have sticks and a soldier up on the point still, but now that's 4 down for them. Not looking good. There they go, the wipe on last, and they're going to go ahead and pick up that point right there. It's going to be 3-0 for Mike+5.
3-0 the scoreline, and the Uber charges and the rate at which Fur is popping his Ubers is worrying, in my opinion. He needs to be milking them slightly longer. He just needs to have that little more confidence in his dodging ability. He's just popping them a little too early and putting his team in a bad position whenever they're having an Uber exchange. They are rolling out Valley this time, countering the same strat from Mike+5, but Nookie running absolute havoc around the choke point as he comes back in. He's going to be flanking along with Rock, but Rock has already taken the kill. And going huge here, the scouts from Mike+5 as they take, was that 5 frags out of the 6?
Yeah,
plays.
I believe so. That was they've really been doing a lot of work for them on these fights. The Uber exchanges, the mids, you know, they're really keeping them in the fights. So good work from them so far. As we see, they're actually both the top scoring players besides the medic for Mike+5, and now they're going to have this full Uber to work in last with, and Admirable's going to go ahead and pop it in on Evoke and Mikey. They do have a Pyro up, who is going to go down rather quickly. 2 down for them, 4 down. Oh, goodness, it's going to be a massacre here on last, and now it's textbook TF2 right there, winning the mid, having the full Uber, pushing right in the last. It's now 4-0.
That really was a textbook round. They pushed that all the way through, and absolutely no doubts in their mind that they were going to take that round 4-0. If they want to mount a comeback here, Tavo tëvas, they really have to be fast. Maybe they're just putting all their eggs in one basket and banking on a snake water victory. Mike so aggressive across the point, gets DL down to 18 health. Can he finish off the frag? No, he's content just to leave it like that. But a big bomb in by Kufki is going to take down Admirable. So they're not going to have an Uber for pushing last if they manage to pick up this mid at all. It looks like they are going to do that though, because Tavo tëvas so weak. Even with the heals of Fear, they're not going to be able to keep everybody alive. And Fear, the last one alive, is just going to get picked up as he gets pincered by 3 people. But Admirable did go down.
Yeah, you know, good for Tavo tëvas that they were able to get Mike off the big bomb there from Kufki, though. After losing, you know, after they went down 3 players, I don't think it was smart for them to necessarily stay in the fight there. They were still sitting in choke and just allowed themselves to get pressured by them. They could have kept Fear alive, and they would have had that full Uber. They were already down 3 guys, and regardless of having the heals, they were down so much, and they were all so hurt at the time that you still can't fight that fight. You know, having a couple guys advantage for Mike+5 there, so now that's just going to push them back to last. They're going to have to hold here to keep themselves in this game, as they are down 4-0 right now, and Admirable is going to have about a 20% advantage right now, 15%. I don't know if it's really going to be enough for him to push off of, but they have worked themselves in the lobby here, and they are building like demons, so let's see if they can get into last here with this. They are going to have a little bit of an advantage, and they're just going to go ahead and pop it very early out. here out of the upper lobby as they get in. Evoke starts it off. Mike getting some as well. Oh, goodness, and it's happening once again here. And Fear went down before they were able to get the Uber, and that is not good for them. The wipe on last, and that is going to be the game there. Mike+5 taking that game pretty swiftly there, 5-0.
Yeah, that's the first map of the fixture, round 2. We are going to be going to Snakewater after this, so Tavo tëvas have a chance to redeem themselves, but certainly if they play the same as they did. And what a nice push there at the end. They managed to engineer themselves like a 25% Uber advantage from what should have only been a 10 to 15, just by virtue of building it faster. Fear and the rest of his team not really putting enough priority on building very quickly, and got absolutely surprised there as the enemy Uber came in when they were only on 86%. And Fear did go down before he could get his Uber charge. So they do pick up that map 5-0. Have we got some logs? I will search for the logs.
Yeah, we're looking for them. They're up there somewhere.
We do have them. I've got them there in Mumble for you as well, Gecks. So at the top of the damage, as you might imagine, is going to be Mike. Absolutely repping that Demoman class. He's gone 21 for 4 with 390 damage per minute. A very good, a masterclass in how to play Demoman there by Michael Anthony Adams. He's followed up by his pocket as well, who went 13 for 9. Not a bad trade by Evoke either. And the scouts as well, completely outclassing the opposing flank.
Yeah, I really liked what their scouts were doing there. I mean, they didn't even really, they don't have necessarily a wicked DPM or anything, but, they were just getting a lot of good frags. They were really helping them out on those Uber fights. They were getting a lot of frags in the flank that helped them, I think, get the better end of those fights. But I'd like to see Tavo tëvas do a little bit more with their Uber and holding on to it and all that going into the Snakewater game, because even on that last hold right there, Fear was so close to coming up to Uber. I mean, he was probably about 10% behind. If he could have, managed to just keep himself alive a little bit longer there, work back into spawn, just kite that Uber a little bit, without allowing them too much room to move in onto the point, they could have got the counter pop out maybe and held last there. But regardless, it is going to be 5-0 on Badlands there. So going into Snakewater, as you said, they're going to have to really get something going here on this map, or it's going to be just about the same as it was there on Badlands, I think.
Yeah, they're going to have to make some changes to the way that they're playing the game. Possibly the mid of Snakewater is going to favor them slightly more than Badlands in terms of they can send one soldier across the point to really take Mike out of the fight, whereas on Badlands he's easy for the scouts of Rock and Nookie to defend Mike from any bombing soldiers. On Snakewater you've got arguably slightly less visibility. It's slightly easier for a big bombing soldier to take your Demoman out of the fight, and I think if they want a chance of taking this to a close game or maybe even stealing the map away, they need to have some very strong middles, Tavo tëvas, and they certainly need to be taking Mike out of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the key, is just getting Mike out of the game here, out of these mids, because he does put out so much damage. As we saw there, as he dropped the big 391 DPM there on in that last map. So, I would like to see the soldiers. That's really the big thing, as you were saying. The soldiers can get really aggressive here. You can, get some big double soldier bombs over on the other side, putting pressure on the medic, the demo, which is going to be really key for Tavo tëvas to put that pressure onto Mike. So